Yeah,
Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. First of all, I would like to thank the Global Big Data Conference team for giving me this opportunity. So, my talk will be on challenges in delivering value using SRE, DevSecOps, and value stream management, and the new ways of working to solve it. So, this is based on my experience that I see. The agenda today, we'll talk about some basic premise. We'll look at some definitions and then come to the challenges and the solution. So some of the basic premise that I see today is we have to treat that IT is no longer a cost center. IT is business, right? So we have to see that we are no longer technology leaders, we are business leaders. And our objective is business objectives, not technology objectives. So there is no organization today which can survive without IT being there. Even if you look at the people who are selling vegetables and other snacks on the roadside, on the cart, even they want payment to be done through Google Pay or Phone Pay. So in such a situation, the way that we were working earlier and the way that we are working today is different. The second point that we need to understand is that customers do not know what they want. This was mentioned by Steve Jobs long time back, and he went on to say that if Henry Ford had asked his customers about what they want in a new car, the answer they would have got is faster horses. That is the truth. And we have to understand that customer knows their own business problems. What they don't know is what is the solution. And that's the reason why we are there, the service providers, to provide that service. Third, technology is changing very rapidly. What is available today, tomorrow that will become obsolete. Tomorrow something else is coming. We have seen online banking, but today we are looking at use of blockchain. We are looking at wearables. We are looking at 3D printed mobile branches. Now, these are kind of things that are coming up. So various technologies will come and we have to adapt to that. And not everyone is Google or Facebook. So this is something which we have to remember. We cannot just copy paste whatever others are doing. We need to understand the basic objectives, the basic things that are being looked at, and then use it. And the last and not the least is we need to have one common shared objective, that is value creation. Now, what is value? Now, value is the perception of the customer. You must have seen that somebody pays maybe like 100,000 rupees or like 1,000 or 1,200 USD for a phone. Somebody pays 150 USD for a phone. Why is that difference? Because the people who are paying higher, they feel that that is the amount of benefit that they are going to get or more than that. Whereas somebody who is paying 150, they feel that the phone is giving them the benefit equivalent to $150. So they have to, accordingly it is done. It's like joke. We laugh at some jokes while others are not laughing. We don't laugh at some jokes while others are laughing. It is the perception of the customer. Now, that means that the value creation happens only when the customer is actually using our service or product. Till that is happening, we are in the process of value creation. So everybody, whether it's a developer, a tester, a security person, infrastructure person, database administrator, everybody has to have one single common shared objective, which is value creation. Now, customers can be internal or external. That's fine. Here are some definitions which I think everybody has seen, but I will still just go through it once. Like, for example, DevSecOps. The reason why I'm going through this is these are certain areas, that approaches rather, that we are going to take to solve. But we are also going to see what are the challenges, what are the things that are being done wrong in the current scenario. DevSecOps stands for Development, Security, and Operations. It's an approach to culture, automation, and platform design that integrates security as a shared responsibility through the entire life cycle. Shared responsibility throughout the entire IT life cycle. This is from Red Hat. The important point is shared responsibility. That means that each one of us are responsible for security. As a developer, I am responsible in my work to make it secure. Coding. Tester, yes. Secure tests. So everybody has to look at security as their responsibility. The third book, which was released by Google, called Building Reliable and Secure Systems, they said that they believe that a system is not reliable if it is not secure. And today we are talking about resilience, we are talking about reliability. So security is everybody's responsibility. When we look at site reliability engineering, which complements DevSecOps, is a discipline that incorporates aspects of software engineering and applies them to infrastructure and operations problem. Again, going back to the different premise that we talked about, that today things are changing very rapidly. The customer's expectation, the technology, everything. We need to deliver things faster. So instead of having large chunks of work coming at larger intervals, now we are having small pieces of work coming at large numbers in very short frequency. So the traditional way of working is not going to happen. We need to change our way of doing things. And that's where we are bringing in the aspect of software engineering and operations. Operations typically do a operate and maintain kind of a work, but that operate and maintain doesn't work anymore. If you need to set up 10,000 servers within 15 minutes from scratch and ready to be used, you cannot do it in a traditional manner. So that operate and maintain doesn't work. We need to write code. We need to design and build a system. That's the software development approach, design and build. So we use design and build instead of a operate and maintain. Third, we need to look at the entire value stream. We are all responsible for creating value. So the value stream management has to be done. As Gartner says, last year they said that by 2023, 70% of the organizations who are implementing DevSecOps are going to implement value stream management because they will get better return on investment by using value stream management. Now, from the Forbes Business Council, I have seen value stream management is a lean business practice that helps determine the value of software development and delivery efforts and resources. It also helps to improve the flow of value to the organization while managing and monitoring the software delivery lifecycle from end to end. We will talk about this more in detail as we go forward. So what are the challenges that we see? First of all, what I see is the biggest challenge is the organizational silos. There is motivations or the incentive are different for different people. Developers are evaluated in a different manner. Infrastructure people on a different manner. Security experts are evaluated on a different manner. So the incentive for each one of them is different. If the incentive is different, they cannot deliver one common shared objective. So the organization silos has to be removed. First thing that we need to do is change our appraisal process. I'm not talking about the appraisal related to increment and promotion. I'm talking about appraisal, which means how do we improve? So that organizational silo has to be removed. Everybody has to work towards one common objective. We'll see how we do it. The second problem that I see, which I call it framework silos. Many of you are working in organization where there is a agile, some methodology of agile, some framework of agile is being used. So that is one initiative. A DevOps is a separate initiative. SRE is another separate initiative. No, it is not that. All the three have the same objective: to give better customer experience, to grow the business. So the framework silos has to be removed. We have to take the best of each of the framework and make it work together. If you look at DevOps, DevOps works on three pillars: the lean, the agile, and the ITSM. And SRE complements DevOps, so it works with all of them. That is what we are looking at, right? So we have to remove the framework silos. Third, we see that the holistic view is missing. We have different departments. Each department looking at their part of the work, but they are not looking at their part of the work as part of the overall puzzle. That is not going to help us create a great product or service which customers will enjoy, because customer is going through the entire journey. If you look at it today, customers are not buying a product, they are buying a servitized product, as I call it. That means when you buy a phone, you check how many GB of cloud space you are getting so that you can put your photos and documents there. If you are looking at a Uber or in India, Ola kind of thing, they are not providing a taxi service anymore. They are providing us a travel experience. That's why we are not just happy about the taxi, the cab. We need to see the entire journey from the time we are booking till the time we are paying and getting off the cab. The entire journey has to be good. So we need to look at the holistic view of the entire domain of the entire system to know that where my piece of work fits in. There is a gap between business and execution. So on one side, we have the strategies being done, the business strategies. On the other side, you have a completely different track of execution, what the IT team is doing. It cannot work that way. In middle, there is a gap. So that has to be removed. We need to have our work aligned to the strategic objectives of the business. In 2017, PMI did a survey and they found that 58% of the projects that are running at any point of time are not aligned to the project, to the overall business objectives. That means it's a waste. It is as good as we putting our money on mutual funds, which is not going to grow. Do we want to do that? No. When we see the different approaches being used like SRE, we see SRE is either an enhanced operation. People are thinking that SRE is nothing but just some people who are going to use some magic and make our operations better. But that is not SRE for. SRE is looking at a completely different aspect, which is reliability, which is about how things work when it scales. And on the other side also, I have seen that people are looking at only the automation part of things and continuously doing automation. But do we know why we are doing the automation? May not be. If we look at security, again, we have a big gap. Security is an afterthought. After the work is done, then we have the security experts coming in and doing something. No, security has to be baked in the entire life cycle. And if we look at the tools today that is available in security, they also have a long way to go, because all of them has a lot of false positives. We have to accept that and see how to get best out of it. We have multi-vendor scenarios, which is focused on deliverables. Last year in my event, I had Benjamin Trainer's class for 30 minutes on Ask Me Anything session. And I asked that when you have a situation where there is a company X which has provided the software, company Y which is doing the testing, a company Z who is providing the hardware, there is a company P who is providing level 3, level 4 support, and a company Q who is giving a level 1, level 2 support, how do you implement SRE? His answer was, it cannot be done. I don't think so. I think, yes, still it can be done by bringing things together. Like I have discussed with some other people in different other organizations. What they do is, in some cases, they have got the team from different vendors, but they have made them to work as one single team, having one common shared objective. Now that has to come more strongly, even in the contracts. And the last but not the least is tools is a magic potion. We think that everything is related to tools. We will just put some tool and we are going to get it. Right? So that magic potion is not there. Tools is a force multiplier. It's not a panacea. If our process is good, it will have multiple good outcomes. But if our process is bad, we are going to get multiple bad outcomes. So we have to be careful about this. So this is the various challenges which we see that is happening today. Solution: IT leaders need to look at the business objective. We need to link the business to execution with the value stream teams. Each value stream we have to look at, and the value stream creating value is creating value for the business, creating value for the customers. And I say creating value even for the employees. All these requires us to re-architect the system to make it loosely coupled. When we talk about MVP, when we talk about or the first principle of DevOps, what we talk about the CI/CD, you cannot actually do it by putting some tools. You need to re-architect to make it into smaller chunks. Each one should be independently be tested and independently be used. That's why microservices is a way to go. We need to refactor technical debts, and somebody else is not going to do it. Each one of us have to do that work. That's why we say that at least 1 week in a month, people should be involved in refactoring technical debts and re-architecting. We need to implement value stream management. We'll see how it is. Platform engineering and value stream teams together is the best way to have maximum scaling. And we practice proper DevSecOps. We'll come to that. We use ASOC. So last year, Gartner came with a new area called ASOC, Application Security Orchestration and Correlation, where correlation is of importance. So I said that the security tools have a lot of false positives. Now, if we can correlate all those, like what doctors do, looks at various tests and then correlates it to find the root cause and diagnose the problem, we have to do that here. So this is the Gartner's value stream delivery platform, which is nothing but your CI/CD pipeline, starting from your customer need to the customer value. So we need that for each value stream. And on top of that, we need the value stream management platform, which has the capability of visibility, tools integration, workflow orchestration, security governance, compliance, matrices, value stream analytics, collaboration, and role-specific insights. We need both of these together to implement. This is an example of one of the large banks in US, how they have created. I've taken it from one speakers who has spoken in my event. I've taken that to showcase that this is how the platform engineering looks like. The SRE will be the owner of the platform, and they provide platform as a service to the various value stream teams or product teams. Operations handles the actual maintenance of the infrastructure and everything. So we need to look at doing DevSecOps properly. So this is a model that I would look at. It is, if you can see, at every stage, there is something on the other that needs to be done, starting from threat modeling from the design security services, even the security related requirement should come as user stories and should follow the whole process. We need security chaos engineering also. And now we come to that ASOC part. So you have tools like Mavericks, which allows you to do it, where it helps you to orchestrate wherever, whenever, whatever is required gets implemented. And the data is taken from all the different systems. And after taking that, using an AI engine, you throw out all those information. Those can be used to find out on that correlated AI engine data as to which are the actual vulnerabilities that are there. And we will be able to catch much more vulnerabilities and reduce the overall various false positives that the different individual tools are looking at. So we need to look at it holistically. So with that, I come to the end of whatever I had